Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Today I'm here with Enzo Moon coming out with his new album, My Summer on the Moon. How you doing, Enzo?
Great, man. Good to be here.
Awesome.
Excited to unleash some secrets.
Fantastic. Well, let's get started, man. Everyone sits right in the fucking middle of that couch.
So it's like hella sunk in.
It's always like that. Which is fine. You can sit in the middle of the couch. Like I said, everyone sits in the middle of that couch. It's just not good to sleep on.
Because of that.
Yeah.
So you're like this.
Yeah.
Oh God. That's horrible.
It sucks.
Damn, that sucks.
It's the worst. I don't like it. But I mean it works pretty good for the podcast, so
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
pretty good.
It looks just like your ordinary couch that you'd see in any office. It's so I actually got that couch, this nightstand, this table, that table, and then those two wooden chairs for like $90 at a thrift store.
Wow.
All together as a whole deal.
Nice.
Because I just so happened to show up on the day they were doing their furniture sale for the week or whatever. So it was like that day you get I think it was like 30% off furniture if you bought furniture. Plus, like I think the most expensive thing on here was that couch, and it was like $85 or something. Like everything else was like $5, $10, and then they had this little wheel that when you're like gonna go check out, you get to spin it, and then
whatever it lands on you.
Yeah, you get that discount. So I think I got like an additional 40% off or something.
So you spent like $90 on all of that?
Yeah, I spent $90 and it was like the whole thing. And then I found that chair outside right here of the apartments, like just not by the dumpster, but like you know those optometrist like offices that are right there.
Yeah.
I think they like just got new chairs because there was like 6 of them out there, and that was like the best one. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna just take this. I was like,
That's
whatever.
a nice chair.
Yeah. No, they were out there like all morning, and then I'm gonna go run some errands that afternoon. They were still out there. I was like, well, they're officially like trash at that point. So
Yeah, no one wants them.
it's cool. I like it. I want to get a desk in my bedroom, and then have like a little
And then
office.
have that chair.
Yeah. Then I could put like my desktop there, or like my laptop, and work from it there.
Just like a little station where you can work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always good. It's always good to have like a little setup, because like when you're trying to work like all over the place, dude, it's
I don't like that. I like my mindset, not my mindset, but I guess like the way I function is if I don't have everything in like a spot or organized, it'll distract me.
I'm not like that in my normal life, but when I'm doing something that I'm focused on, or like that I really have the drive to do, then I'm like that, because like I can't sit down and have my fucking mic not
set
the
up.
way I want it, and then this shit's over here, the fucking headphones are like all nah, dude, I can't do it.
No, that's not like
just
me. Things need to, like, if it's in my head, everything's like jumping around, like bobbling. You know, I can't get everything in order. Like you saw earlier when I was trying to set up, how like I was like, oh shit, I forgot that, and like, oh, I gotta put this down. Like me when I go to do chores around the house, or like if I'm like, I have to get these things done today, I have to take a second and literally either write it down on a whiteboard or write it down on a piece of paper. Like, all right, I need to do this, and then it's like I'm not so like anxious. I'm not like freaking out. I'm not forgetful. Yeah. Because I'm like, all right. Once it's out of my head, it's like, all right, I can work now, and it work out. But no, as you saw, like trying to set up the studio right now, it was
it was a struggle.
It sucked.
Dude.
I was freaking.
No, dude, I'm like that too. My cousin will be like, dude, are you fucking ready yet?
Like,
it's been like an hour.
No.
I'm like, dude, just trying to make sure we're on point when we start.
Yeah, I don't want to.
We're not on point when we start. It's fucked up from jump, and that's no good.
Exactly. It throws everything off. You have to stop in the middle of it, and then there's just not the same flow.
It's a lot of redoing. You waste too much time. So I'd rather take the time to set it up beforehand. Right, you feel me?
Yep.
And
get
then,
it all set.
And then go from there. You feel me? Because if you set it up right the first time, a studio session could take an hour.
Yeah.
So an hour for setup, an hour for the recording, that's 2 hours. Then you have like 4 hours to do whatever. Because usually in a studio session you book 8 hours.
So you're in a studio for like a whole shift, just
Grinding, dude.
really
Grinding.
How's it? How's your album coming along?
So my album is like, man, that album is crazy, dude. It started in so not 2019 summer, but 2018 summer is when the album started.
That's when you're like I'm gonna make an album.
That's,
and you started writing songs,
like I had an idea for an album and I made a song and I was like, okay, this can go on that album.
Oh, that's when you first started putting songs together?
Yeah, and then so I just like, I'm not one of those people who can just like sit down and write an entire album. I don't think any artist is like that. Because the way music works is you write it based off inspiration. So I had to go through a couple different things in order for this album to come together. Like there's a song on there called Lonely Melody, and that song is about my most recent breakup and how I felt about that. And it's a very deep, raw, vulnerable song, and I would never have that song if I never went through that breakup. So if I tried to rush this album just to get out an album, that song wouldn't exist.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So like I had to go, like in order for this album to come to life, I had to go through a couple things. And so like,
how much would you say of your life experience within those, it's been like 2 going on almost...
It's like a year and a half this album has been in process. So I'd say probably, so a year and a half, that's what? 18 months?
Yeah.
I'd probably say 80% of that
is in that album?
Yeah.
So it's basically just been this
past couple year and a half is in that album. And it's a couple different things. It's an album. So it started as an album about summer. Like I wanted to make a summer album. And then as I started piecing together the songs and kind of making the story of the album, I realized, okay, this is more reflecting on summer than
going through summer.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, because it started as Summer on the Moon, and I was like, all right.
What's the name of the album again?
The name of the album is now My Summer on the Moon, because I'm dropping it in September, and there's some secret details about that I don't really want to lay about.
No worries.
But I'm dropping it in September. There's 5 or 6 featured artists on there that the world has either heard a little bit of or hasn't heard at all. Because there's some people on there that haven't really dropped anything. So
that'll be cool.
So that's pretty cool. And then there's other artists that have dropped stuff already. But this album, it started as a summer album, and then I realized, okay, I've been just talking about shit I'd gone through in the last year and a half, so it's more like a reflection album.
Yeah.
So I changed it from Summer on the Moon, as if it was like, we're spending summer on the moon, like, to My Summer on the Moon. So now I'm changing the name as like, okay, this is...
It's a past thing.
Yeah, this is what I went through. And so... And it's crazy because, like, before quarantine, like, I'm actually blessed from quarantine. I really love the quarantine. I honestly, like...
Really?
People hated it, and I do too. Like, I'm ready for it to go back to normal, but when it first started, I loved it. Dude, I was at home, making $3,000 a month, doing nothing. I'm literally...
Just on unemployment?
Yeah, I'm literally talking, like, I was doing chores, getting paid for that. I was chilling with my little brothers and sisters, getting paid for that. Doing music, damn near 24/7.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Getting paid for that.
Yeah.
And then smoking weed. So, like,
yeah,
I really felt like an artist. And so, like, I feel like that gave me a lot of confidence and a lot of motivation to become the artist I wanted to be. And I mean, I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
So I'm still working, and I mean, I barely dropped anything, but I have so much confidence that, like, I used to go in the studio and book 8-hour sessions and do like an hour and a half of work. Because my setup was slacking. my direction was non-existent. So I'd go in there and have no idea what I wanted to do.
Just kind of mess around.
And just fucking around for like 4 hours, and then finally we fucking click something, and then we only have an hour and a half left. Because you need at least 30 minutes to clean.
And then you got to put a cap on that, and then when you come back to it, it's not the same. Yeah,
it's not the same.
No, I get you.
So, for a long time, I was going to the studio, wasting time, and then not being able to go back to the studio for a couple of days because you got life, you got work, you got all this shit that you got to worry about, and then at the same time, you're trying to make it in this industry that's fucking vicious. I'm talking like
saturated too. There's
saturated, vicious, and everyone sounds the same. How do you stand out?
Sheesh.
And then everybody wants the trends. So how do you stay trendy, but then also stand out?
That's how I feel like podcasting is. Like getting into this, doing this, is like it's another saturated market. It's another. But I feel like same thing with your music, where one, you're not just doing it because you're looking to make a buck. Like, I'm not doing this to get a buck.
No.
You're doing it because it's what you like, it's what you're interested in, it's what you want to do. And I think what, like you were saying, what separates you from other music or other podcasts or other artists out there is being you. I think that's the important part.
Exactly. So, like, the only way for you to stand out is to be you.
Yeah, like, be the individual that you are.
You can't try to be everybody else and stand out because then you're just gonna blend in. You're a chameleon at that point.
I'm pretty sure my dad was the one that told me, but it was like this quote, and it was saying like, stop trying to be, or man, I'm gonna mess up this quote because I'm not gonna remember it right.
And just spit it out how you got it, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's I can't remember. I'm drawing a blank, but anyways, it was another quote about like being an individual because everyone else is already taken, so be yourself.
Oh, yeah, I've seen something like that.
Yeah, it was along those lines. It was way more inspirational and inspiring. And,
than what you just said.
Yeah, like what I sounded, I was like, all right, dude.
All right, I get it.
Yeah. But no, I think that's what's going to help people stand out, or what makes a product or a service or something unique.
Yeah.
Is letting it be who you really are, letting it be like what you want it to be. Don't let things hinder you or try to put like limitations on what you want to do.
Exactly, dude. That's the number one goal. Like, you cannot have any regrets, dude. Like, you can't do something and then be like, fuck,
should I have done that?
You cannot second guess yourself in anything you do.
That's like
anything.
No, when I was doing, because I wanted to write stand up, right? I wanted to do stand up. I think I'm a little funny.
Nah, you're pretty funny.
So I was like, thanks. I was like, you know what? I've always written down jokes, like just either like notes about a joke or like little one-liners that are from like a full setup, just to put it in the bank, to be like, oh, this is just something just in case.
Wow.
And finally, I'm like, you know what? I gotta stop like putting this off. Like, if I want to do it, just try it. Like, I didn't know how to write stand up or how to even like set up a joke or anything, but I just sat down and I just started writing. I started like writing as if I was on stage or something, and it just started coming together. And it's like, you know what? And who knows? Maybe the way I did it isn't how you're supposed to do it, or what I do have is garbage. But at least I have something. And at least the ball's rolling. Mm-hmm. And you can only learn as you go. At least that's the best way I learn.
So but like back to what I was saying about the quarantine.
Oh yeah.
Like, I used to spend hours in the studio and get absolutely nothing done. Now I'll go in the studio and be in there for 2 hours, get a whole song done.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have direction now. So when you have direction and you know where you're gonna go, goddamn. When you know where you're gonna go, you have so much confidence, because there's no fear. There's no like, oh shit, I don't know what to do at this part, or fuck, what
That, or like,
what happens when I get here?
yeah, or like, oh man, I need to get something going. That's what I hate, is putting that kind of pressure on myself, where it's like, oh man, I have to get something going, or like, I have to put something on paper. It's like, because then you're just gonna like eke or squeeze something out that's gonna be half-assed, or like not what you want it to be, or it's gonna sound fake.
For sure.
So I'm like, just let it flow, let it be natural.
Yeah. And like that, like, I mean, it's good to plan for stuff, but sometimes when you go in the studio and you're doing music, you kind of just want to have one of those days where you just like, hey, let's just grab a beat and fuck with it, see what happens.
So, like, how do you do that? Because I've always wondered, like, when you go into the studio, all right, you wake up, today's the day you're going to the studio. What's
the process?
Yeah, what's your process?
All right. So just like any other day, when you're going to something that you have to be ready for, you gotta get ready. You gotta feel good about yourself.
Uh-huh.
You saw me, like, I'm about to go to work.
Yeah.
I had to get fitted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't just slide over in some fucking jeans and a t-shirt.
Sweats on.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Your slides.
And then was like, hey, I'm gonna change out your house. Like, nah, I fucking got ready. I mean, my hair is a little fucked up, but that's
good, man. You're good.
But, so the first thing I do is I shower. And then, rewind.
Well, don't tell me, like,
Rewind.
I wake up,
No, I got you. Okay.
I pour myself a bowl of Fruity Pebbles, use almond milk because I'm lactose intolerant. No, like, all right, so you get to the studio, you sit down, or whatever you stand up.
First things first, when you get to the studio, when you land, all right, you're finally there, you smoke. You have to.
Okay.
You have to. All right, you got to get the vibe right.
Okay.
Then you walk up in that bitch and you when you walk into a studio, you got to own it. No matter who's in there. Even if it's just you and your friends walking into the studio and you guys are doing the work yourselves. You walk in that bitch like you own it.
Okay.
And you walk in there and you're like, fuck yeah, this is my shit. Like, I got this shit.
You gotta have that positive mindset when you're
You feel me? Yeah, you gotta be ready for that shit. So you walk in there and you're like, yep, this is my studio, I'm about to fuck this shit up. And no one's coming in until I'm fucking leaving.
Uh-huh.
You feel me? This is my shit.
Okay.
This is all mine. So you lock that down, then you set up, feel me? Get that going, and then you play your beat, whatever you're working on. And if you're not working on anything in particular, then you just start playing some beats. Just vibe with them.
Just spit stuff, or
I mean, some people freestyle. Like I'll mumble through a couple things, a couple one-liners that I have.
When you're like, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but when you're like, because you sit at home, you write your songs, right? Do you have that song and do you cycle through beats trying to find what matches it, or when you're writing it, do you have a beat in your head?
Depends. Sometimes you come up with something and it's already locked in. Like, you already have a melody for it. You
just got to create that
a tune for it. So what I do is, when I have something like that I really want to do, I'll record it how I want it to sound.
Oh, you'll sing it or say it like how you think the beat's gonna be.
Mm-hmm. Without the beat.
Yeah.
And then I'll send that to my cousin, because my cousin, dude, bless his soul, man, he's a fucking prodigy. I give it to him, dude. That dude plays guitar, he plays piano, he could probably play drums if you fucking taught him. He probably played fucking trumpet if you taught him. He fucking could pick it up, dude. I swear to God he could. Dude, you give him a video game he never touched before, fucking 10 minutes into playing it, he's fucking killing everybody. Murking everybody, and everyone's feelings are hurt. Dude's a fucking genius. So, I'll come up with some shit, and if I have a tune for it and I have an exact way to
you'll
sound,
send it to him, and he'll
and it's fucking game over from that point.
He'll
as
like
soon
spot
as he
on.
gets it, it's spot on, exactly what I needed, and
Nice.
I'm like, fuck, dude, I can write to this.
Is
now.
it usually easier that way when you already have like a melody or a beat in your head when you're writing?
Oh, definitely, because then when you get the actual beat and you go to write your verses, you just fucking kill it, because you're already comfortable. You feel me? And then it's the same thing when you hear a beat and you instantly get comfortable with it. It's like sitting in that car and you're like, fuck, this shit's fire. I'm buying this. You feel me? So when I hear that beat and I'm like, fuck, dude, I could kill that shit. Lately, I've been buying it.
Oh, you've been buying your beats?
Yeah, because I've had money and quarantine's been treating me well. So like, I hear a beat and I'm like, fuck, dude.
You could write stuff to that?
I know I could write to this shit. I buy it.
So that's where you're just like cycling through beats, you're listening to them, and you hear a good one, and you're like, oh, I could write a song to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, but in the studio, depending on the situation. So like I said, if I already had a direction, I'll vibe with my beat for a little bit. Even though I already have my lyrics down, I already got them in my head. I'll just vibe with the beat for a little bit, feel it out. Then I hop on the mic and then start recording. Then once all your shit's recorded, all your vocals are done, you go back into the main room and you analyze everything, all your takes, you cut through them, pick the best ones, everything. And then from there, once you get all your perfect takes, you play the whole song back one more time, and then you just lock it down, shut everything down. If your studio session's not over, then you just move on.
Go to your next song, or
yeah, because you don't want to sit on one thing too long, but you don't want to give it too little attention.
Yeah, because then you start overthinking it, and then you start
because if you spend too much time on it, you start taking shit away, adding extra shit you don't need, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You take out necessary shit.
Just be confident with the way it is.
Shit. Yeah. So once you run through that bitch and you feel like it's done, it's most likely done. Especially if you were already in the vibe, already in the mood, that shit's done. So your best bet is to either lock it down, shut it down if you're done, or move on to the next thing and go from there. But lately, when I've been in the studio, me and my cousin will finish a song and then we're like, bruh, let's hit the next one. And then we go to the next one and then we hit that and then we're like, bruh, next one. And we'll finish like 2.5 songs every session, easily.
Really? What's the most productive day you had in the studio?
Most productive day I've ever had in the studio is me and my cousin went in there and we spent probably, I'd say like 7 hours in there. So not even a full studio session, because a full studio session is 8 hours. That's with setup and tear down. So we were set up, tear down
in 7 hours.
In 7 hours.
How many songs did you guys get done?
4.
Damn.
And then we started an idea for a 5th, but didn't even touch anything on it.
So how many songs are on this album?
On this album, it's a 10-song album with a bonus track, so 11.
Nice. So
there's an intro, and then there's 8 songs, and then an outro, and then a bonus track.
Sweet. But yeah, man, thanks for coming in. Looking forward to the album. Excited about it, you know.
Yeah, dude, I was glad to come in, man. Got to see my boy.
Yeah.
Got to fucking talk about life and talk about everything, man. It was awesome.
Sweet, man. Well, we'll catch you next time, all right? Thanks for tuning in, you guys. We'll see you next week.